Welcome to Bishop's Online Tutoring. This is sheet number 8, covering money problems. A packet of biscuits costs 56p. A bottle of cola costs £1.14. Emma buys 4 packets of biscuits and 1 bottle of cola. She pays with a £10 note. Work out how much change she should get. Now, the 4 packets of biscuits are 56p each. So that would mean that you have to do 56 times by 4, which gives us 224p, or £2.24. The 1 bottle of cola is £1.14. So let's add £1.14 with £2.24. That gives us £3.38. Now, most students would go and just write £3.38 and leave that as their answer. But the question says that she pays with a £10 note. Work out how much change she should get. So we have to now do £10 minus £3.38. That gives us £6.62, and that's our answer. £6.62. Farah buys 2 pens at 84p each, 3 folders at £1.35 each, and 1 pencil case at £1.49. She pays with a £10 note. Work out how much change Farah should get from £10. So let's calculate each of these items individually, and then we'll add them up together. So 2 pens at 84 pence each is going to work out to be £1.68. 3 folders at £1.35 each is going to work out to be £4.05. And then with the 1 pencil case, you don't really need to do anything because it is just 1 pencil case, so it's just £1.49. Now let's add everything together, and then once we've got a number, we're going to take it away from 10 to work out how much change she should get from a £10 note. So we need to do £1.68 plus £4.05 plus £1.49. That gives us a total of £7.22. Now we do 10 minus £7.22 to give us £2.78, and that's our answer. That's how much change Farah's going to get from paying with a tenner. A badge costs 78p. Sam has £5. He buys as many badges as he can. Work out the amount of change Sam should get from £5. Give your answer in pence. So £5 works out to be 500 pence. It's best to convert everything into the same unit of measurement. So you can do 500 divided by 78. Another thing you can do is you can just multiply 78 by a bunch of different numbers. So let's just multiply it by 5. This gives us 390. So we know we have to multiply 78 by a bit more. So let's try 78 times by 7. 78 times by 7 is 546. Well, now let's try 78 times by 6, which is 468. So clearly we can only buy 6 whole badges. We're going to have a bunch of money left over, but the way to calculate that is going to be 500 minus 468, and that gives us 32. So ultimately, Sam can buy 6 badges. It'll cost him 468 pence. When you take it away from 500 to work out how much change he's going to get from the £5 note he pays with, then you'll be left with 32 pence. So that's your answer, 32p. Okay, here we have a bill for Michael's cycle repairs. Our job here is to fill in the blanks, and this is one of the easiest types of questions that you can get because here you have the number of items that this person has purchased. Here you have the cost of each individual item. We're trying to work out the total over here for brake cables. So all we're going to do is multiply 2 with £5.68, and that will give us £11.36, and that's what goes there. Next, we have 2 pedals, and the total has come out to £45.98. So to work out the cost of each item, we're just going to do 45.98 divided by 2. Now that gives us £22.99. Now the labour charge is 1.5 hours at £12 an hour. Now that 1 whole hour, that's £12. The other half, that's going to be half of the hourly rate. The hourly rate is 12, half of that is 6. So 12 plus 6 is equal to 18. So the labour charge is £18 in total. Now we just need to add all these numbers together to give us an ultimate total. So £16.48 plus £11.36 plus £45.98 plus £18 is equal to £91.82. So that's our final answer, £91.82. Now this question is for 4 marks, so we will get a mark for each one of our entries. Okay, here we've got some prices for some cinema tickets. Now Tony buys 1 child ticket and 1 senior ticket. So all we have to do is calculate what 1 child ticket plus 1 senior ticket is going to work out as. The child ticket is £4.90, the senior ticket is £5.85. When we add the 2 together, we get £10.75. So that's our answer, £10.75. Stephanie buys adult tickets only. The total cost is £60 and 55 pence. How many adult tickets does she buy? Well, each individual adult ticket costs £8.65. And we basically have to do £60.55 divided by £8.65. Now, make life simple for yourself. Just convert both of these numbers into pence. So £60 and 55 pence will become 6,055p, and £8.65 will become 865. Now, just do 6,055 divided by 865, and that should give you an answer of 7. So our answer is 7. Stephanie bought 7 adult tickets. Kamala buys 1 adult ticket and 2 child tickets. She pays with a £20 note. How much change should she get? Well, the 1 adult ticket costs £8.65. The 2 child tickets cost £4.90 times by 2. So let's first work out £4.90 times by 2. That gives us £9.80. Now we add £9.80 with £8.65, and that gives us a total of £18.45. Now, don't forget what the actual question is asking you to do. You're required to figure out how much change Kamala would get if she pays with a £20 note. So you have to do 20 minus 18.45. That gives you £1.55. So that's your answer, £1.55. Keisha has a part-time job. She's paid £5.40 for each hour she works. Last week, Keisha worked for 24 hours. Work out Keisha's total pay for last week. All we have to do here is multiply £5.40 by 24. To make things easier for ourselves, let's just do 540 times by 24. So we've converted the £5.40 into pence, just because it allows us to work with a whole number instead of a decimal. Now 540 times by 24 is 12,960. Now, just in the interest of time, I'm not actually going to work out the long multiplication, but you absolutely should, because this question is worth 3 marks. So your answer is only going to qualify for 1 mark. So you still need to show you're working out. Okay, here we have the menu at Joe's Cafe. Jonathan buys a can of cola and a cheese roll. Work out the total cost. Now, a can of cola is 75p, and a cheese roll is £1.60. So we just do £1.60 plus 75. That gives us £2.35. So that's our answer, £2.35. Sachin buys a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and 2 sandwiches. Work out the total cost. Well, the cup of tea is going to cost 70p. The cup of coffee is going to cost 85p. And the 2 sandwiches are going to cost £1.35 each. So we have to multiply that by 2. So £1.35 times by 2 is £2.70. Now let's do £2.70 plus 70p plus 85p. That gives us a total of £4.25. So that's our answer, £4.25. Kim buys a can of cola, a cup of coffee, and a sandwich. She pays with a £5 note. Work out how much change she should get. Well, the can of cola is going to cost her 75p, the cup of coffee is going to cost her 85p, and the sandwich is going to cost her £1.35. So we first need to just add up all our different items, which gives us £2.95. And then the question is asking us to work out how much change she would get if she paid with a fiver. So we do 5 minus 2.95, and that gives us £2.05. And that's our answer, 2.05. Okay, we've got another one where we have to fill in the blanks. Now we have 2 wiper blades at £1.50 each, so our total here is going to be £3. We've got 2 light bulbs that total £5, and we need to work out the cost of each individual item. So we're just going to do 5 divided by 2. So each individual item will cost us £2.50. Now the labor charge is an hour and a half at £16 per hour. Well, that first whole hour, that's going to be £16. That half hour is going to be half of the hourly rate, which is £16. So half of that is going to be 8. 16 plus 8 is 24. So the labor charge is £24. To work out the total cost, we're going to do 10 plus 3 plus 5 plus 24. That gives us a total of 42. So our answer is £42. The cost of 20 litres of petrol is £18. Work out the cost of 1 litre of petrol. So look at it like this. 20 litres is equal to £18. Let's half 20 litres, so 10 litres will be half of what 20 litres was, so that means £9. Now let's get rid of the 0. Now let's divide both sides by 10 to work out what 1 litre is, so that would make it 90p. So 1 litre is 90p. Here we have the menu for Pete's Cafe. Joe buys a can of cola and a cheese roll. The can of cola is 75p. The cheese roll is £1.70. To work out the total cost, we're going to do £1.70 plus 75p. That gives us £2.45, and that's our answer. £2.45. Susan buys 2 cups of tea and 1 sandwich. Work out the total cost. Now the tea is going to be 75p times by 2, and the sandwich is just going to be £1.35. So 75p times by 2 is £1.50, plus £1.35 gives us a total of £2.85p. So that's our answer, £2.85. Kim buys a cup of coffee and a cheese roll. She pays with a £5 note. Work out how much change she should get. Well, the cup of coffee is 85p and the cheese roll is £1.70. Let's firstly add up £1.70 and 85p. That gives us £2.55. Now let's do 5 minus £2.55, and that gives us £2.45, and that's our answer. That's how much change Kim is going to get if she pays with a fiver, £2.45. Enzo makes pizzas. One day he makes 36 pizzas. He charges £2.45 for each pizza. Work out the total amount he charges for 36 pizzas. So essentially, we just need to do £2.45 times by 36. To avoid working with decimal numbers, let's just convert the £2.45 into pence. So that would make it 245. Now, when we multiply 245 with 36, we get 8,820. Now, if we convert that back into pounds, just take the decimal point 2 spaces to the left. That would make it £88 and 20 pence. And that's our answer. And finally, Mario delivers pizzas. He is paid 65p for each pizza he delivers. One day he was paid £27 and 30 pence for delivering pizzas. How many pizzas did Mario deliver? Now, first things first, let's convert £27 and 30 pence into just pence. So that would be 2,730. Now, all we need to work out is 2,730 divided by 65. Now, for the sake of just getting it done as an example, I'm going to do it with long division for just this one question. So first things first, I like to have the 65 times table on the side. Okay, now let's draw out the long division question. Now, 65 goes into 2 0 times, 65 goes into 27 also 0 times, 65 goes into 273, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 times, and gives us 260. When we take away 260 from 273, we're left with 13. Now let's bring this 0 down. How many times does 65 go into 130? That would be 1, 2. Write a 2 there, it gives us 130. Take it away from each other, that's 0. Our answer is 42. So Mario delivered 42 pizzas on this particular day. Okay, thank you very much for watching that video. Hopefully you got something useful out of that. Now make sure to check out some of the other videos on the channel because we are going through the entire GCSE math syllabus from topic 1 all the way out to 120.